This is how to draw the inside of a room in one-point perspective, brought to you by Christy Boyd's art class. So you need a ruler for this project, and a pencil, and a piece of paper. I really like an 18-inch ruler because it will stretch all the way from corner to corner of your paper. The first thing you need to do is draw a line from one corner to the other. The more precise you can be straight into the corner, the better off you're going to be in the long run. You also want to draw really lightly. I'm going to draw dark so that you can see it on the video, but you want to draw nice and light. Now, this ruler has a really cool feature. See the 0 in the center of the ruler? That's pretty awesome because I can measure out the same amount of inches. I'm going to go 2.5 inches and put a little mark on each side of the line. And the other way, 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches. You can do this with a normal ruler too. You just have to move it around more. And then draw a line between each of those marks. So essentially you're making a rectangle. And again, the lighter you draw, because a lot of these lines will be guidelines that you erase later. So the lighter you draw, the better off you're going to be in the long run because you won't have ugly pencil lines left all over your paper that you can't erase. So for example, now I'm erasing this X in the center of my paper. You do want to leave the dot in the very center. The dot in the very center of your paper is your vanishing point. But see how you can still see the X even though I've erased it? That's what happens when you draw really darkly. So check this out. If you draw a small rectangle, so with this one I measured out 1/2 inch from the center, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And what that does is it's going to make your room look really long, okay, like a hallway. This at 2.5 inches is more like a bedroom. Now what I'm going to do is draw in the door. So the door in that line is not as parallel to the edge of the paper as I'd like it to be, but I'm going to keep going. So the top of the door is going to go down toward the vanishing point. So you line your ruler up with the vanishing point, draw in the top of the door, and the other side of the door is going to be straight up and down vertical, parallel to the edge of the paper. Okay? And you can add a doorknob. You can add trim around the door if you want. That'll make it look even more realistic. I'm going to add a window to the other wall. So again, sides of window, straight up and down vertical. Top and bottom of the window are going to head toward the vanishing point. Oops. I don't want to draw it all the way to the vanishing point, so we'll erase that. But you can think about it like whichever wall you're working on, the windows and the doors want to look kind of like the wall. So the sides of my wall are straight up and down vertical, and the top and the bottom of my wall are going toward the vanishing point, just like the top or the bottom of my window or my door. You can draw details on the window like you might see in real life. You can draw trim on the window like you might see in real life. And all these little details are going to make your drawing look more and more realistic. Okay? So the next thing we want to do is talk about furniture, okay? Because most rooms have furniture. So with furniture, you really want to think about setting the edge of the furniture in the corner where the floor meets the wall, all right? And we're going to break the furniture up into shapes. And you really want to think about drawing the shape of the edge of the furniture, of the surface of the furniture that is closest to you, all right? And this is hard to understand, but you're going to see it take shape. So I'm going to draw a little couch. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing the face of the couch that is closest to me. So the side of the couch, and I'm breaking it up into shapes, into rectangles. So this is the bottom of the couch. This is the back of the couch, another rectangle. You can round out your rectangles later, but it's easiest to start with very basic rectangles. And this is the arm of the couch. So you would do the same thing for a bed or a table. You would draw in the rectangle of the face of the furniture that is closest to you that you can see. Okay, so those almost look like stairs, but I promise it will become the side of a couch. Now, from each of these corners, you're going to draw toward the vanishing point. And this is something that just sort of takes practice to figure out how long do I need to draw my lines before they're long enough, okay? And you really just want to, it's like trial and error. You can always erase, try again. And now I'm erasing lines that are inside the couch that we don't want there. And close off the other edge of the couch. So I'm just kind of going back and forth and figuring out where things want to be, drawing in some guidelines so I can tell where my couch wants to end. So you want it to look right to your eye too. So keep just holding your paper out, looking at it, seeing if it looks right. If it doesn't look right, make adjustments. This is the other arm of the couch. Toward the vanishing point on this little arm of the couch. Occasionally I will draw a line without my ruler if it's short enough. But if you really can't draw a straight line, you just want to use a ruler for every line. So this line wants to be straight up and down vertical. There's a lot of erasing with point perspective because you draw in a lot of guidelines. Just drawing in the little bottom of the couch, and then I don't really like it, so there's a lot of fiddling to get it just right. Okay, so that's the basic structure of a couch. And now you can go in and round things out. Okay, you would do the same thing with a bed too. I can add little legs on the bottom of the couch. So again, I'm drawing in the little rectangle that's closest to me, and then that bottom line goes sort of towards the vanishing point. I just eyeball those because they're so short. You can draw in a little pillow on your couch or a blanket hanging over the back. Those details are what's going to make your picture really shine. Okay? And there's your very basic couch, and you can keep working with it, adding more details. I'm going to move on. The next thing we're going to do is I want to talk about if you want to add something on this wall. Notice it's a rectangle. It's a straight up rectangle. So anything that I put on that wall is going to be a straight up rectangle too. Okay? So if I put a little artwork on this wall, there's no drawing towards the vanishing point here. It's just a straight rectangle. You can add, so if this is a piece of art, we can add a little frame around it. Draw in a little starry night real quick. You can put whatever you want. Again, it's just bringing personality to your piece. Okay. So let's talk floor. You want to add something to your floor. Maybe it's a wood floor or a tile floor. I'm going to do a wood floor. And so I'm going to put marks across the bottom of the page every 1 inch. I don't want to do too many of these because I'm going to lose your interest, but you know, if I was doing this for real, I'd put them a lot closer together than every 1 inch. I might do every 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to draw from that mark up, run it into the other wall, but notice I am drawing toward the vanishing point. Line the ruler up with the mark and the vanishing point. The more precise you can be with your measurements and your ruler work, the better and more realistic your piece is going to look. Just remember, you want to draw the side of the furniture first and then draw toward the vanishing point. That is a perfectly normal rectangle. And these walls want the top and bottom going toward the vanishing point, and the sides should be straight up and down, vertical, just like the sides of your paper. All right? Thanks. Subscribe, Christy Boyd Art.